I feel the rain crashing down.
Soul's Worth by Rin Surker. Flash of the cameras were blinding. Your sister is in the hospital because she was trying to protect the daughter of the Fukui family. Is that right? A reporter yelled. Rena Fukui is the person who also is in the accident, correct? Another nameless face cried out from the crowd. Please comment. Matthew knew he was glaring. His mother had her arms around him, like she was trying to shield him from the onslaught of the press. He felt numb. His sister, the nerdy scientist, was just home visiting for a few days. Holidays were supposed to be full of togetherness and family. They were only doing the last-minute shopping for the next day. He could still hear her laughing. Come this way, honey. The officer said he would like to have one more moment with you. Then we'll go home. What will happen with Candy? Matthew asked. She looked down at him. Her brown eyes were half-lidded. She had come straight from a 42-hour shift. Don't worry. She'll stay here for now. But we'll be getting things squared away soon. Matthew didn't think he could cry, but the idea of leaving his sister was breaking his heart. Just as the tears were about to overflow, Matthew found a way to abate them. He balled his hands into fists. You'll pay for this, Rena Fukui. A soft alarm woke her. Work? No, she was home for the holidays. She opened her eyes to get her bearings and was pleasantly surprised. She could clearly see the paneling on the ceiling. She figured she had fallen asleep with her glasses on, until she realized this was a room she had never been in before. The alarm was coming from a machine to her right. There was an IV in her arm, and her head was throbbing. Moments of time flashed through her head. Matthew, her little brother, football star, the reason she worked so hard. He had been right next to her. He smiled and laughed, then she couldn't recall. There was something on her face, providing a soft breeze. A nurse bustled in and went to the machine to press a few buttons before turning to look down at the patient. Oh, wonderful. You're awake. Try to breathe a bit deeper, or you'll be hearing the alarm more often. A shaking, bandaged hand lifted towards the nurse, and there was a soft groan. Your throat must be dry. Sorry, the doctor said you would have to wait until morning to try and swallow something down. My name is Melanie. The patient's fingers came together and moved slightly. Understanding the miming, Melanie grabbed a pen and held up a clipboard. After a moment of struggle, the nurse looked at the chicken scratches and read, Candy. The patient smiled lopsidedly, proud she was able to get it out on paper. For an entire 30 seconds, Melanie looked at the paper, then frowned. I'm so sorry. I heard that the other woman in the accident passed away. Were you very close to Candace Walker? Another 45 seconds later, and the frozen hand dropped to the bedside. The eyes of the patient were so disturbed that Melanie went to the chart to see what medications had been approved and administered before saying, You need to get more rest. I'll be back in a minute. Just try to relax, okay, Rena? Rena. She'd heard that name before. It was something her brother had said. What was it? Melanie didn't say anything, even as she added something to the IV and left the room. As her thoughts became fuzzy, Matthew's words came to her. Rena Fukui is in a gang. Just leave her alone.
All around this empty town, we're searching for the lost and found.